Good afternoon and welcome to the Keswick Ripple podcast. My name is Jim Lang. I'm the Director of Guest Services here at America's Keswick. And each week we want to bring you a testimony that we hope encourages your heart and life. One of the most dynamic parts about our ministry is that when a man or woman comes to one of our programs, their life is radically changed by the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then they're sent out to their families, their churches, their communities, and God uses them in mighty ways. I'm real excited about today's testimony. It's a gentleman by the name of Isaiah. And what really I wanted to highlight through his testimony is that change is not an event. Change is a process. And I think as you hear Isaiah talk, as you hear him tell his story, you can see that we sometimes want change just to be instantaneous and overnight, but change is really a process, and we can see how God works in that way. And so, Isaiah, welcome. We're so glad that you're here with us today. And this is not your first time in the colony. You were here twice. And so when was your first time coming through the colony?
I was here last year.
Okay.
About the same time last year. And
so why don't you kind of take us back? What was life like before the first time you came to the colony?
So before I came in the first time, I had spent a few years just trying to get clean in the rooms of AA and NA. That pursuit had brought me through like a circuit of different detox centers and rehabs, inpatient. I tried outpatient. I tried it. I think I just about tried it all before I came here, and didn't really have anything to show for it. I could barely piece together like 3 months clean at a time. And so, coming in, that's just sort of the background that I had coming in, and it was pretty hopeless, but yeah.
And so how did you find out about the Colony of Mercy?
Yeah, so I was in Florida, and then I had to come back north, and I ended up at a detox center in Pennsylvania, and there's a support group there, and my mother was going to that support group. She had been dragged through the mud throughout my whole addiction, and so she needed help just as much as I did at this point. And there was another mother in that group, and she learned about the colony directly from her, and then she told me, and here I am. Yeah.
And so what was the first time you came through, what was your mindset? What was the status of your heart during those few months you were here?
It's like cold, hard, dead. I wasn't really open-minded. I didn't want what I perceived that you guys were selling something, and I didn't want any part of it the first time around. It took me a while to actually start to hear everybody. Sure.
And so you didn't graduate your first time here. What happened there?
About 3 months into the program, I was given a chance to go on my covenant visit to sort of set things up. Graduation was just around the corner. And so during that weekend back home, I had started getting high, and I just proceeded to carry what I had begun back to the colony with me, and thought I could keep it hidden. And yeah, all that came out, and that led to me being asked to leave early.
And how did God lead you back here for the second time?
He gave me, or he allowed me to. I was given a chance basically to go for what I thought I needed. I went out west to California. I went back to school, new job, all that sort of stuff, and I just felt worse than before. I actually was in a worse place. Things were just more unmanageable, just more chaotic. I was I was just in a worse spot than ever. And that sort of, in that place, I was able to really see my need in its fullness. So.
And what's awesome is that God never wastes any sort of experiences. And so how did God use your first experience here at the colony to prepare you for the second go-around?
Well, the first time, I really just wanted to be left alone. I wasn't very receptive. I wanted to skate through undetected, under the radar, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. I mean, of course, everything blew up at the end, but before that, I think my plan was going, everything was going according to plan. And so coming back this time, it was very clear to me from the beginning that other people were going to be very involved in my time here, and that I wasn't going to be able to hide. I was going to be exposed. I was going to be uncomfortable. I had these overlapping circles of accountability. You know, I had a 3-man room instead of a 2-man room. My work department was different. It was everything was different, and I think the biggest difference was that other people were a part of this, like all the way through this time. I wasn't trying to Lone Ranger it.
Yeah.
So.
And what was really neat is that I noticed right away when Isaiah came back, just the different attitude you had towards the program and toward what God wanted to do with you through the program. And so you've been here a little over 3 months now on your second time. What has God really been showing you and teaching you during that time?
God's really been showing me just my own neediness, really, and my need for Him in my life, my need for other people to be a part of this with me. A lot of my weaknesses have been exposed just day by day. It's been really uncomfortable, but through all of this, I think I have a much more adequate view of myself and just how needy I truly am. I really wasn't able to even admit that, and definitely not embrace that last year this time. So.
What's really encouraging is that each week when we put these testimonies out, we get a lot of views. People are watching these podcasts, and so there's probably someone watching right now who is struggling in addiction, struggling with drugs or alcohol. If you had to say one thing to them right now, what would you say to them?
I tell you, it's not about self-help or building a better, stronger version of yourself. I tried that. I really thought the answer was somewhere deep inside me. I just hadn't dug it out or uncovered it yet. And, I'm just glad that I stopped, digging from that point and just have shifted to a place where I'm just able to see that I just don't have it. I wasn't designed to have it. I don't have to be this mountain. I don't know. That's just what I would want you to know. You don't have to be so strong.
Awesome. So Isaiah, we're just thankful for sharing a little bit of your story. We want to encourage you, if you've enjoyed this testimony, to go ahead and share it, like it on Facebook and on YouTube. And we want to invite you on Saturday to join us for our virtual Family Freedom Walk at 11 a.m. And thank you, and we'll see you next time.